Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Wow. I'm sure you're getting this a lot, but wow, what a film. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. No, I think the word's relieved. After so many years of working on the film, my producer and my artists are just like, whew.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, there were from what I understand, like more than 7,000 objects were created to you kind of tell Grace's tale here, the one of the main characters here. So and stop motion animation is such a thing in of itself. How many years did it take for this to unravel?
Well, we're sort of saying 8 years, but a lot of that was the writing. The writing took three, financing took three, and actually making the film was quicker than the writing. I think the shoot was 33 weeks, 16 weeks of pre-production, 6 months of post. So yeah, it was a very long journey, but of course COVID, got in the way and threw a spanner in the works, so that slowed us down a bit. But look, all stop motion, well, all animation is slow and so it's a big commitment. It's a big chunk of your life that you never get back.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. So I understand part of the inspiration of this film, some things that you drew from your real life experiences, like in a lot of your films, was a woman who had been like a collector of objects, from what I understand. Can you describe that person and what she was like and why that was sort of an influence?
Yeah, well, actually, it was two people. There was my mother and father, who were both collectors. Let's call them collectors, not hoarders. And they had a lot of stuff. And when my dad passed away, we had to trawl through everything and start throwing stuff out and donating it to charity. And I became really fascinated with why, as human beings, do we collect stuff that we don't need? We're like bowerbirds. We have all this stuff so I did a lot of reading and a lot of research into the psychology of hoarding, and I discovered that extreme hoarders really, more often than not, have had a lot of trauma in their lives, loss of a child or a sibling or a twin, and that the hoarding is sort of a coping mechanism. So it's that sort of idea, but also I want to make a film about a friend of mine who was born with a severe cleft palate, and as a child, she had a very traumatic childhood, a lot of operations, and was bullied and teased at school, but then grew up to be this very flamboyant extrovert and led a very colorful adulthood. And so there's sort of these two ideas that sort of merged into one. And 16 drafts of the script later, we had Memoir of a Snail.
Wow. So what was it about? Because I know you're particular about the voice talent you bring into your work. So what was it about Sarah Snook's voice that was such a winning quality?
Yeah, look, I do think very deeply about the voice cast, and I'm always watching films with my eyes shut. And I rewatched a lot of Sarah's work, and she just had these qualities I really liked. There was a vulnerability, a shyness, a very authentic tone to her voice. I didn't want her to put on an accent or anything. She just had a beautiful, natural speaking voice. And so we were so thrilled to get her. But Jackie Weaver, we knew she had to be Pinky right from the get-go, and Jackie signed up without even reading the script. She identified with Pinky. Cody Smith McPhee has a lovely darkness to him. So all these actors, yeah, they all have qualities I really liked, and of course, the tricky bit is securing them and getting them on board. But we were very lucky; we got everyone we wanted.
I love that. And you also worked with Philip Seymour Hoffman on Mary and Max, which was a very much celebrated. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like working with him and what you feel he brought to that?
Yeah, so Philip, sadly no longer with us, was remarkable just to watch him transform into the character almost immediately. He just had that innate quality and intuition, and it was incredible to watch him perform. And again, I wanted authenticity and very difficult role to play, playing a lonely man in New York with Asperger's syndrome, who's very eccentric. But yeah, I can't imagine any other actor doing what he did. And again, it's such a sad loss. We no longer have him.
Right, right. Thank you for that. Your projects are um, just visually sumptuous, but they're also deep. There's like, I mean, in this outing, we have, a character naming a pet after like after Sylvia Plath, and then also, quotes from Kierkegaard here. So obviously that like relays back to you. So did you grow up sort of as an introspective, deep person, and why was it important for you to bring some of these things out in your films?
Oh, sure. Look, I certainly love to read, and I love reading the classics, and I love philosophy, and I love quotes. I collect quotes. I'm always trying to, you know, find the meaning of life, and have all those existential questions we all ponder and wonder about ourselves and the world. And I certainly love watching films that deal with the human condition, and films that question why are we here, our relationships to others. But also I love films that have plenty of humor and gags. And so what I'm trying to do with each film is get that balance between the dark and the light, the comedy, the tragedy. I love that quote, without the dark, the light has no meaning. And they're very tricky to write because you don't want to depress the audience, nor do you want the film to be too vacuous and just a gag film. So I spent a lot of time trying to get that balance, and yeah, I am quite cruel to my characters as well. I really drag them through the mud, but I always try and reward them at the end. And I'm glad to say this film has a happy ending.
Yes, it does. This is a part of a trilogy of trilogies. Three shorts and three long shorts, and then three features. So after this, what is next, or what would you like to do next?
Yeah, so another feature, and then I'll only have one sh long short to do, and then the nine will be complete. I'm a bit like Quentin Tarantino. I'm the plasticine Quentin Tarantino, trying to make 10 films or so. But I don't know why I came up with this ridiculous idea. But I'm surprised I'm actually up to number seven, to be honest. So two to go. But yes, hopefully a feature next. So I've just will be starting writing on that very soon. But yeah, it's just I sort of love the Allen methodology. You get to end of a film and you immediately start writing the next one, and that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Wow. So what voice talent would be great to work with in the future?
Oh yes, look, I certainly have a long list of other actors I want to work with. Tilda Swinton's at the top of my list. I love Glenn Close. I'd love to work with Glenn Close. Annette Bening. Obviously these are all females. So the lead in the next one will be female. Meryl Streep, why not? Aim high.
Aim high indeed. So you must be an extremely patient person if you're in stop motion. Would you say that's true?
Well, you'd think so, but no, I'm actually, and I've given up animating myself. I gave up that a while ago in 2016 because I don't have the patience, and so now I employ people who do. I think being a co-producer and a writer director, you're sort of juggling so many things. You wear so many different hats, and you're always trying to get other people activated and moving, and so. Yeah, weirdly, I'm not a patient person.
Wow, wow. So just one of the last questions here. Can you unpack clayography? You're making clayography. So for those that don't know what that is, can you explain?
Well, it's a word I invented because way back in 1996, when I started making these films, I couldn't find a word that described what I wanted to do, so I invented one. It's a pretentious thing to do, but it's a combination of clay biography, and there is the word claymation, but that's trademarked, and I thought I'd come up with something that really is more suitable to what I do. Because my characters are based on real people, my family, friends, the people around me. So there is a degree of biography to them, but they're works of fiction. but they're certainly based on truth. Yeah.
I love that. Hey, thank you for your time. This is really such a wonderful film. I think people will really be moved by it. So thank you for your time and congratulations.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Greg.